Have you ever wondered how wealthy people manage to keep their fortunes? Most individuals believe that being wealthy gives them the financial freedom to spend their money on whatever they desire. Despite having millions of dollars in their bank accounts, all wealthy people have one thing in common: they avoid wasteful spending. Even with deep wallets, wealthy individuals prefer to get better bargains, live simple lives, and spend their money on necessities rather than wants. They spend purposely even if they cannot afford to, and in this video, I'll show you the 7 spendings that every wealthy person avoids. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe below for more life-changing content. Spending number 1. Expensive. Formal education. When you look at most wealthy people's success stories, you'll see that formal schooling played a minor role in their financial success. For the record, roughly a third of millionaires are college dropouts, whose desire went beyond getting a piece of paper wrapped in a degree. I don't want to discourage anyone from attaining a worthwhile formal education, but the truth is that formal educations, or institutions, to be more accurate, work hard to confine our ideas. College prepares us for great academic achievement, for which we are praised, only to be shackled to a desk in the name of job. As soon as we step into the real world, we'll be confronted with the harsh reality that the piece of paper you spent thousands of dollars on was never a ticket to financial independence. The majority of these wealthy individuals did not become wealthy by regurgitating texts. Instead, the majority of wealthy people improved their real investment skills, which no school can teach you. As a result, while college graduates spend nearly 20 years of their employment paying off debts, most wealthy people are financially secure by this time. Wealthy people do not invest in pricey home tutoring services for their children's education. Instead, they expose their children to more valuable skills, experiences, and opportunities, which help their overall personal development in the long run. They avoided ripping off college debts and the average pay employment that college prepares us for. Spending number 2. Quick service restaurants. Overindulgence and fast food are another regular expense that wealthy individuals avoid. When the average person can't stop themselves from eating out practically every night, the wealthy choose more frugal meal options. You'd think a millionaire would waltz into a chain restaurant and order lunch for everyone, or perhaps rent out the entire place. What if I told you that even the wealthy utilize discount coupons to save money, and that they will make a fuss if a restaurant overcharges them only because they are wealthy? For some people, buying groceries is a better option than eating prepared foods at a restaurant. Wealthy people also tend to identify themselves with healthier lifestyles, making bad food a no-no financially. Spending number 3. Expensive flights and flashy cars. You may have assumed that, aside from flying business class, all wealthy individuals drive the most luxury cars. Well, here's the thing, the vast majority of them don't. Wealthy folks have been discovered on countless occasions driving basic cars that you and I could easily afford. And even more perplexing, flying economy instead of business class. When asked why he preferred to drive a simple Acura TSX, he said it's because it's only about $30,000. It is safe, comfortable, and not ostentatious, Mark Zuckerberg said in response. When it comes to car ownership, I believe this is the most logical and true explanation. The majority of individuals take car ownership for granted. They are often ignorant of how much it will cost them down the road. Having a showy car comes with expensive maintenance costs, increased stress levels, and increased suicide pressure, not to mention classic car accessories that you can go without. With all of this in mind, why spend more than 10% of your assets or income on a vehicle that will depreciate before your eyes? You shouldn't be astonished to see a millionaire driving around in a cheap or even ancient car, unlike most people who experience suicide thoughts. According to a study conducted by Experion Automotives, 60% of millionaires like to travel in Fords, Toyotas, and Hondas. Spending number 4. Video games and television entertainment. If there's one thing that wealthy people never waste their money on, it's television and video games. According to experts, billionaires spend no more than 60 minutes per day in front of a television screen, compared to 5 to 7 hours for the ordinary individual. In most millionaire homes, jumbo television packages are a foreign notion, with most residents preferring to engage in meaningful activities such as reading important books or working on their enterprises. Numerous studies have also found a strong link between a household's overall income and the rate at which its members watch television. Households with a net worth of less than $25,000 watch an absurd quantity of TV, whereas those with a net worth of more than $75,000 watch substantially less TV and, as a result, experience more life fulfillment. Excessive video game and television viewing will waste your time, energy, and most significantly, money. After all, how can you expect to climb the financial ladder if all you do is sit on your couch and watch other people become wealthy? Spending number 5. Expensive residences. This may surprise you, but owning multiple luxurious and elegant residences is another luxury that the wealthy have decided to avoid. I understand that this statement contradicts the extravagant properties that celebrities flaunt on social media, but in reality, self-made billionaires are exceedingly cautious when it comes to home ownership. Even though they live in luxurious mansions, you'll find that these homes weren't purchased at current values, and even if they were, the values don't come close to that person's net worth because, let's face it, buying a cheap house in a posh neighborhood is a counterproductive approach to wealth accumulation. As a result, the number of millionaires who live in homes valued at $3,000 is 3 times higher than those who live in homes valued at $1 million or more. If you're financially conscious, you're certainly aware that living in a $1 million home or area opens the door to an expensive lifestyle that might jeopardize savings and wealth growth. Wealthy people will constantly look for the best deals when buying residences in order to obtain their money's worth and ensure that the property appreciates over time. They will purchase the house at a modest price in a profitable area thanks to well-calculated financial actions. Allow it to appreciate in value over time so they can resale it for a large profit. It's no surprise that Warren Buffett has lived in the same property since 1958, and it's almost tripled in value, unlike the majority of people who take out large loans to buy a fashionable home. The majority of wealthy people will tell you that buying a house at an exorbitant price is a foolish investment. Spending number 6. Designer labels. Wealthy people avoid expensive designer labels, namely exorbitant dress codes and fashion fads that will bury the regular Joe in toxic debt. Yes, we need clothes, nice clothes to be precise. But does this mean that wealthy people should spend a significant portion of their earnings on expensive designer apparel every month? The thing is, wealthy people aren't always impressed by wearing trendy designer sneakers that will most likely tear in a few months' scare. And if you don't believe me, consider Steve Jobs' famous dress code. Many people still don't understand why Steve Jobs has been wearing the same basic pants, black sweater, and sneakers for years. He wore clothes that were unlikely to turn heads, yet he owned one of the most profitable computer companies in history. Wealthy people understand that value always outweighs price tags, which is why they're incredibly frugal with their spending. This is why, among others, billionaire Bill Gates wears a $10 Casio watch to public engagements, and Michael Bloomberg has worn the same pair of shoes for 10 years. Wealthy individuals have a tendency to own the most basic objects, which is understandable, given that the more money you acquire, the more money you know that material possessions will never compare to the deeper life-changing experiences that money can provide. Why would you spend money on shoes every month when a pair can last you a year? Plus, if you work so hard to make money, why would you even put more effort only to prove it? Spending number 7. Repayment of debt. Wealthy people avoid debt repayment, which includes any additional fees associated with owing someone money. By saying this, I do not mean to imply that debt is your greatest financial enemy. Debt is a technique that the wealthy frequently employ to increase their riches. This may be true, but there is another truth. Not all debtors are the same. While Jared Kushner may relax with millions of dollars in debt on his shoulders, student loans and costly house ownership plans are ruining the lives of others. Wealthy people recognize that using someone else's money to make an investment is a risk that could quickly backfire. As a result, many of them would rather not take this chance at all. In this regard, the sparkling wealthy rarely consider options such as multiple credit cards, vehicle loans, or home ownership plans unless the investment they're considering has the ability to surpass your interest rate. I'm merely trying to help you understand that without suitable financial contingency plans, debt repayments, and expenses, your financial life will be crippled and your path to financial freedom may be obstructed. Because toxic debt is extremely easy to fall into and extremely difficult to escape. Take for example, student loan debt. How long does it take an average college graduate to return a $27,000 student loan? According to the Department of Education, it can take up to 20 years, which is roughly 5 times the time spent in college. This loan will most likely have collected a lot of interest by the end of this period, and you'll be paying back far more than you originally borrowed. Which is why wealthy people avoid debt whenever possible, and if they must, ensure that they must have a well-defined repayment scheme. When it comes to debt and debt repayments, this is true. If you're smart, you're going to make a lot of money without borrowing, Warren Buffett said. And there you have it. Wealthy folks aren't nearly as lavish as we imagine. Even with all the money in the world, they believe it is necessary to be careful with the money they have earned, as should everyone else. That's all, folks. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and comment for more content. See you in the next one.